Hello, everybody. Welcome to this lightning talk. And I do apologize for the fact that in this talk, we were supposed to be two people. One is myself, and also primarily from the Rohingya refugee camp in the border of Bangladesh and Myanmar. We were supposed to be joined by Saidullah, my colleague. Unfortunately, he's not here for the recording. And the irony is, the reason for him not being here is actually the thing that we are going to talk about. And that is alternative internet for Rohingyas, bypassing shutdowns, innovating solutions, and infrastructuring hope. We are going to talk about the biggest refugee camp in the world right now and their challenges they face all the time in terms of lack of access or discrimination of access when it comes to internet, and how they're actually moving ahead with it and coming around when it comes to innovations in connecting and communicating themselves. So very quickly, Rohingyas are one of the most persecuted population in the world as we speak, and they fled Myanmar, their native country, and majority of the Rohingyas right now are now residing in Bangladesh. This is one of the shots that we took when during our research in the refugee camps in the border of Myanmar and Bangladesh. And it's a fascinating. It's 1.3 million people when we are looking into it, and these are the people who are, majority of them are women. And when it comes to age demography, majority of them are children. And most of the people are traumatized. They have suffered a lot. And more importantly, they are facing a lot of challenges when it comes to digital space. I do apologize for a lot of text in this slide, but I just wanted to highlight some of the major challenges that the Rohingyas are facing. First of all, when they were in Myanmar, they were actually living primarily in open air prisons. They were not allowed to have smartphones. They were not allowed to have internet. And they were also not physically or digitally mobilized or move from one place to the other or access different things. And when they crossed the border in order to survive and came to Bangladesh, unfortunately, things were not that good because the host government did not allow them to legally have access to the phone network, and also the internet was totally banned officially in the campsite. And that created a lot of challenges. Even as we speak, when this COVID-19 outbreak, this global pandemic is also affecting the camp areas, and Bangladesh government has done a commendable job when it comes to controlling it and dealing with it within the camp area. Even after that, there's a huge challenge when it's related to customizing and communicating and contextualizing the health messages. And there's no internet. There's a lot of fake news. There's a lot of disinformation, misinformation, and there's a huge challenge when it comes to access to proper information and access to digital space. So this mobile network itself there's a perpetual shutdown for the Rohingyas, right? And then if that's the case, then how they are coming out of it? What are the innovations? How are they hoping? How are they moving on? And how are they innovating? So these are the questions my research team, we have been looking into for the last 3 years. And also my colleague Saidullah and his network, Rohingya Students Network, they have been also working in this space. I will talk briefly on that. So imagine this: on the top side, you see a laptop, and this is actually not just a simple laptop. This is what we call this hub of alternative internet, because this is where all the contents are. When it comes to movies, when it comes to dramas, when it comes to infotainment, when it comes to education modules, healthcare modules, in their own language, in some other languages, which has been dubbed to Rohingya languages. Those are all you can find there in different sort of folders and criterias. Same as clouds. And people are accessing those using 4 GB to 8 GB memory cards. And that's fascinating in a way. That's how they are actually disseminating information. And in many cases, when those the content of these laptops, the content of this mobile, and these are primarily mobile repair shops. And so, and it's a side business for them. So these content of these mobile repair shops are also being changed based on the demand of the people within the camp area. So even though I do not have access to the regular internet, I still have access to the content of the regular internet based on my aspirations, based on my demand, but bypassing the rules and regulations. So that we found it fascinating, what the circumvention part of it. We are also looking into these mobile recharge shops that also kind of addresses the need for power to run their mobile phones, their tablets, and so on. So that has been also a very interesting thing to look into. And here also you see this again young entrepreneur, a Rohingya refugee with his laptop, and again working as a communication and information hub. But while we are looking into these shops, while we are looking into this alternative parallel kind of system, information and communication system that bypasses some of the rules and regulations and restrictions per se, Rohingya women have been excluded, unfortunately, from many of these systems, many of these traditional communication, which is kind of controlled by the patriarchy. And in this case, in this picture, what you will see is these women are coming out and they are trying to train themselves in digital technologies to repair the mobile phones instead of going for the sewing machines you see on the back side of the room. They are trying to come up with their own ICT knowledge so that they can actually repair their own mobile phones, but also be a part of this knowledge economy, this thriving knowledge economy, also be a part of the internet, getting connected to it. So that's also this resilience, this sense of resilience, this sense of fighting back. We find it fascinating when it comes to, bypassing the censorship and infrastructuring hope. And lately, what Saidullah was also sharing with us is when it comes to COVID-19 crises and when it comes to resilience, the Rohingyas are doing amazing work in addition to the host community that have been helping them as well. They are customizing the messages. And I have to tell you that Rohingya dialect, Rohingya language itself does not have any alphabet. So it becomes very, very challenging when you are talking about customizing messages, when you're talking about digitizing some formats and how you are going to disseminate it. In many cases, we cannot even comprehend. So they are doing it with audio-visual messaging, and then they're videotaping those things, and then they're disseminating in person and using their own network within the refugee camps. And this is something that humbles us to see this level of spirit and also this level of innovation that they have in the face of a global pandemic, global crisis. So in general, what we have seen and what we are looking into as a research group, as a set of digital rights people with digital rights activism, that it's very fascinating. It's an innovation that needs to be talked about, and there are some very interesting offline communication methods and processes that I think that can be replicated, customized, or at least need to be talked about with other people, the groups under duress. Thank you so much for your attention, and I would love to take questions from you. Thank you.